Which of the following is a perfect square? So what is the meaning of a perfect square? A number multiplied by itself will give us a number, and that number we call it a perfect square. So 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, so 1 is a perfect square. 2 times 2, which is 4, so 4 is a perfect square, and so on till we reach 10 times 10, which is 100, but it's better to know 11 times 11, which is 121, and 12 times 12, which is 144. So these are the perfect squares, and let's check how we solve this question. So if I'm doing this in the exam, I try to remember from the multiplication table. Is there a number multiplied by itself that gives me 91? No. What about 81? Yes, I know that in the multiplication table of 9 times 9 is 81, so 81 is a perfect square. Now what about 101? I know that 10 times 10 is 100, so it's not 101, so 101 is not a perfect square. 88 is not 8 times 8, so I need a number multiplied by itself, so no, this is not a perfect square. And 99, same thing, is not a perfect square. So we should know the multiplication table, or you should know the perfect squares that are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100. You can memorize till 144. So the answer here is 81 is a perfect square. Now, let's check number 2. Which of the following is a multiple of 5? Whenever I say multiple of 5, it means the number must end with a 0 or 5. Now, what about 0? Yes, it is a multiple of 5, and actually 0 is a multiple of any number. Why is that? Because 0 times 5 will give us 0, so 0 is a multiple of 5. 5 by itself, yes, it is a multiple of 5, because 5 times 1 will give us 5. Then it ends with a 0 directly. I choose it to be a multiple of 5, and we can double check because 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And 15, it ends with 5, so it is a multiple of 5, because 3 times 5 also is equal to 15. So this is how I choose the multiples of 5. 0 is a multiple of any number, 5 is multiple of itself, and anything that ends with a 0 or 5, directly we choose it to be a multiple of 5. Number 3. Which of the following is an even number? Now, what is the meaning of even? Even number, it's a number that is divisible by 2. When I say a number is divisible by 2, I can think about it in a different way. So any number divisible by 2 should end with a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So if I see at the end of the number any of these integers, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, directly I choose that this number is divisible by 2. But if it's divisible by 2, it means it's an even number. I can see 6, so directly 6 is an even number. This number doesn't end with a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, I skip it. This one, it has an 8 at the end, so it's correct. This one has a 1 at the end, no. 5, no. It must be either 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. That's it. Now, number 4, they're telling you between 30 and 70 children are joining a school club. When the children are put in pairs, there is one child left. When the children are put in groups of 6, there is one child left. When the children are put in groups of 8, there is one child left. So how many children are there? So basically the first sentence between 30 and 70, this is a condition that you need to use at the end. Now, when the children are put in pairs, it means they are divided in groups of 2. Pairs, it means 2. We still have one child left. Then when we divide the children in groups of 6, so when we divide the number of children by 6, we should have one student left. And when the children are put in groups of 8, so basically when we divide the number of students or children by 8, we should have one child left. So basically I need to look here for the least common multiple first of all of 2 and 6 and 8. So we must have the least common multiple of these 3 numbers. How do I get least common multiple of 2, 6 and 8? You can write the multiples of 2, 2, 4, you keep adding 2 each time, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Let's check the rest before I continue. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6, 18, plus 6, 24, plus 6 is 30. Let's check 8. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24. So I noticed that we have 24, 24. So let's check for the 2. Plus 2 is 22, plus 2, it's 24. So basically the least common multiple of 2, 6 and 8 is 24. Now we have one child left, so I need to add 1 to it. I get 25. However, 25 is not a number between 30 and 70, so it doesn't work. In this case, you need to try to do something else. So you try the 24 times 2 plus 1. If it doesn't work, you need to try 24 times 3 plus 1. So let's try 24 times 2. This will give us 48 plus 1, which is 49. Is 49 between 30 and 70? Yes, it is correct. Number 5. 5,298 divided by 16. So the divisor is 16. This number should go outside in the long division. And inside we write 5,298. Now, 5, I check the 5 is smaller than 16, so I cannot take it. I should take 52 till here. And on the side, I try 16 times 2. 2 times 6 is 12, so 2 and 1 on top. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, which is 3. We got 32, that is smaller than 52. Let's try a bigger number and check. So multiplied by 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 48. If you try a bigger number now, 6 times 4, you get 24. 2 on top. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2, which is 6. 64 is bigger than 52, we cannot take it, so I will choose 48. Now, to get 48, I need to do 16 multiplied by 3. So I write 3. So 16 times 3 will give me the 48. Now we should subtract. 2 minus 8 we cannot. We cross the 5, it becomes 4. And the 2 becomes 12. 12 minus 8, we get 4. And 4 minus 4 is a 0. Now we have to bring the 9 down. Again, which one I choose? The 48. Because it's very close to 49 and it's smaller than it. So 16 times 3 will be 48. So I write 3, another 3 on top, and we subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1, 4 minus 4 is 0. Now we need to bring the 8 down. So what is a multiple of 16 near 18? So all of these are bigger than 18, so we need to do 16 times 1, which is 16. So I write 16 here and 1 on top. We subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is a 0. Now since 2 is smaller than 16, we stop there. So what is our answer here in this case? the quotient is 331, and the remainder, so this is our remainder, which is 2. It's very important to know how to do long division. Number 6. Highlight all composite numbers in the list. Whenever I say composite number, it means any number that is not prime. So composite number is any number that is not prime. Now, what is the meaning of prime number? Now, prime numbers are numbers that have two factors. When I say two factors, the two factors here are 1 and itself. So, in other words, when I say a prime number, this number must be divisible only by 1 and by itself. For example, 13. We can divide 13 by 1 because 13 divided by 1 will give us 13, and we can divide 13 by itself and it will give us 1. It means 13 is a prime number. It's not divisible by 2, it's not divisible by 3, it's not divisible by 4, it's not divisible by any other number. It's divisible by 1 and by itself only. And as a note here, please remember that 1 is not prime. Why is that? Because 1 doesn't have more than one factor, so we must have two factors. 1 is divisible by itself, that's why we don't call it prime. It's only divisible by itself, right? So it's not a prime number. Now, it's better to know the first few prime numbers because it will help you whenever you have an exam or later on if you're doing any question. So the prime numbers, basically, I will write them here, just the first few. The first prime number is 2 because it's divisible by itself and by 1. Then we have 3, same thing, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37. Usually the rest, it's so easy to get, like if you have a bigger number, if the number is divisible by 2, by 3, by 4, by any other number, you can tell directly it's not prime number. But at least you need to know the first few prime numbers. Let's go back to this question and check. So highlight all the composite numbers in the list. 2 is prime. As we said, it's divisible by itself and by 1, so it's not prime. Sorry, it's not composite. It is prime. What about 5? Same thing. 5 is divisible by itself and by 1, so it is prime, not composite. Same thing for 7. Now 8 is divisible by 8 by itself and by 1, but it's also divisible by 2, it's divisible by 4, and so on. So 8 is composite. I know 11 is prime because it's divisible by itself and by 1. 15 is divisible by 5, so it's not prime. It's divisible also by 3, it means it's not prime, it means it's composite. What about 18? 18 is divisible by 2, or it's divisible by 3, by 6, by 9, so it's not prime, it means it's composite. So as simple as this. If you know the prime numbers, directly choose the other numbers that are not prime, and this will be your answer for composite numbers. Now, for this question, we have to do long division. So 17 is the divisor, it goes outside, and then we do long division. 4 is smaller than 17, so we must take 40. Now I try on the side. 17 times 2. 2 times 7 is 14, so 4 and 1 on top. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, which is 3. So 34. Now, 34 is directly smaller than 40. No need to try more than that. So I will write 17 times 2. And it is 34. We subtract. 40 minus 34, we cannot do 0 minus 4. So the 4 becomes 3. And the 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 4, 6. 3 minus 3 is 0. Now we have to bring the 8 down. And I try. 17 times 4. 4 times 7 is 28, so 8 and 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2, which is 6. So I got 17 times 4 to be 68. So I will write here 4, here 68, and we subtract. Now the remainder is 0. It means this is an exact division. And our answer will be 24. Now, we do 1176 divided by 24. 24 times how much will give me this number? I don't know. So, I check. 1 is smaller than 24. I cannot. I take 11. Smaller than 24. I cannot. I take the first 3 digits. So we get 117. Now let's try. 24 times how much will give me almost this number? So I'll try times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1, 7. I'm still like far from 117. So let's try maybe times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So 0 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 will be 12. So we get 120, which is more than 117. It means 5 doesn't work, so we need to pick a smaller number. 4 times 4 is 16, so I write 6 and 1 on top. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1, we get 9. So 24 times 4 will give me 96. We subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 minus 9, it doesn't work. So this becomes 0, and the 1 here becomes 11. 11 minus 9, we do it, and it becomes 2. Now we have to bring the 6 down. Now the last trial I did is times 5, and I got 120. So now let's pick a larger number than 5. Maybe I choose 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Now 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 will be 19. It's smaller than 216. If you want to check a bigger number, you can check 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 3, we get 21. So basically I know that 24 times 9, I will write 9 on top and 216 down. And I get a remainder 0. So basically our answer here will be exactly 49. Number 8. Underline the numbers that are divisible by 4. Any number divisible by 4 means the last 2 digits. So you take the last 2 digits of the number and they must be divisible by 4. Must be divisible by 4. So I just look at the last 2 digits. In our case here, we have 84. So 8 and 4, I look at the last two. If they are divisible by 4, so the 84, is it divisible by 4? You can check quickly. 4 times how much will give you 8 times 2. You bring the 4 down. 4 times how much will give you 4 times 1. And you get remainder 0. It means 84 is divisible by 4. Done. Now for 90, I need to look at the last two digits. So 90 divisible by 4. Let's check. 4 times 2 is 8. We get 1. When you bring the 0, 4 times how much will give you 10? We don't have a number. So times 2 is 8. Then you do 10 minus 8, which is 2. The remainder is not 0. It means 90 is not divisible by 4. Now, all of these numbers, you just look at 34. Is 34 in the multiple or in the multiplication table of 4? I know that 4 times 8 is 32, but 4 times 9 is 36. So we don't have 34 directly. This number is not divisible by 4. 88, I look at 88. Is it divisible by 4? Yes, it is. If you notice that 88 divisible by 4, because 8 is divisible by 4 and 8 also. But if you're not sure, you double check. 4 times 2 is 8. And 4 times 2 again is 8. If you get the remainder 0, it means this number is divisible by 4. Done. Now for this one, you check 54 only. Is it divisible by 4? So if you're not sure, you take and you do long division. 54 divided by 4 times 1. So you get 54 divided by 4 times 1, it's 4. So 5 minus 4 is 1. You bring the 4 down. 4 times how much is 14? We don't have. So times 3 is 12. And when we subtract, we get 2. So the remainder is not 0. It means this number is not divisible by 4. So the only two numbers divisible by 4 here are 84 and 188. Now, what are the factors of 32 and you are given 1, 2, 16, 32. So there are two missing numbers. Whenever I'm doing factors in general, I start always with 1 and the number itself. Now, notice this. 1 multiplied by 32. So if you multiply these two, you get 32. The next one, is 32 divisible by 2? Yes, because it has 2 at the end. So I will write 2. Now 2 times how much will give me 32? If you're not sure, you do it, long division. 2 times 1 is 2. You subtract, you get 1. 2 times how much is 12? It's 6. And you get remainder 0. So basically 2 times 16 will give you 32. So this is how we get 16. Now, is 32 divisible by 3? No. Why? Because we're going to talk about this in a different question. To check divisibility by 3, I need to add the digits. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 5 is not divisible by 3. So 32 is not divisible by 3. Is 32 in the multiplication table of 4? Yes. And I should know that 4 multiplied by 8 is 32. So these are the two missing numbers here. Now in this specific question, just you're looking for 4 and 8. So you don't need to do the first two steps I did. Now in number 10, circle all the numbers that are divisible by 2. As we spoke before, any number divisible by 2 is a number that ends with a 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. So I look at any number that ends with a 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. The first one is 5 for sure, no. This one has a 6 at the end, so yes. It has an 8 at the end, yes. This is 9, no. 0 at the end, yes. 6 at the end, yes. 5 at the end, no. Now, number 11. Highlight all the numbers that are divisible by 5. Now, whenever I'm talking about numbers that are divisible by 5, it's so easy to do them. Any number that is divisible by 5, it's a number that has a 0 or 5 at the end. So in this question you have these numbers: 34, 40, 173, 305, 545, 786, and 970. So divisibility by 5, we have any number ending with 0 or 5, simply. So the first one, it doesn't have 0 or 5, no. This, yes. This one, no. This one has a 5, so yes. It has a 5, yes. This one has a 6, so it's not 0 or 5. It means it's not divisible by 5. And this one, it has a 0, so it is yes. Now, this is very important. Highlight the numbers that are divisible by 3. So any number is divisible by 3 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. For example, I do 5 plus 1, I get 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Yes. So this number is divisible by 3. 68, I do 6 plus 8, I get 14. Is 14 divisible by 3? No, it's not in the multiplication table of 3, so it's not. Now, 7 plus 2, I get 9. Is 9 divisible by 3? Yes, so this number is divisible by 3. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 is not divisible by 3. So no. Now 1 plus 0 is 1 plus 4. We get 5. Is 5 divisible by 3? No. It's not in the multiplication table of 3. So no. The last one, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 0, it's a 3. Is 3 divisible by 3 by itself? Yes, for sure. So 120 is divisible by 3. That's it. Now, highlight all the numbers that are divisible by 4. We spoke about this. So now, directly, I will look at the last two digits. Is 32 divisible by 4? Yes, 4 times 8 is 32, so 32 is divisible by 4. It means the whole number is divisible by 4. So 32 is divisible by 4. So yes. I look at 5 at the end. 0, 5, it means 5. Is it divisible by 4? No. I look at 18. Do I have in the multiplication table of 4, 18? No. So it's not. This one is 24. 4 times how much is 24? Yes, we have 4 times 6. So 524 is divisible by 4. In the multiplication table of 4, we don't have 39. We have 40. We have 36. We don't have 39, so no, it's not divisible by 4. The last one, we look at 16. Yes, it's divisible by 4. It means 1016 is divisible by 4. So I look at the last two digits. If they are divisible by 4. Highlight all the numbers that are divisible by 6. Now, before I write the numbers, when I say divisible by 6, listen to this carefully, please. Whenever we say a number is divisible by 6, it should be divisible by two things. We check if it's divisible by 2. When I say divisible by 2, it means ends with 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. And you check both if it's divisible by 3. By 3, as I said, we add the digits and then we check if the number we get is divisible by 3. So let's check these numbers. We have 87, we have 108, we have 194, 246, 312, 315. This number is not divisible by 2. It means directly is not divisible by 6. So it doesn't end with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Now this number, it has an 8 at the end, so it's divisible by 2. So the first to check if it's divisible by 2. I will write divide by 2 next to it. It means divisible by 2. The other one we need to check, which is divisibility by 3. So 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 8 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3, so yes, this number is also divisible by 3. If it's divisible by 2 and 3 at the same time, it means it's divisible by 6. So 108, it works. Now this number, it has a 4 at the end, so yes, it's divisible by 2. Let's check if it's divisible by 3. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 4, 14. Is 14 divisible by 3? No. So it's not divisible by 3. It means this number is not divisible by 6. So if not both of them at the same time are correct, it means the number is not divisible by 6. Now 246, it has a 6 at the end, so it is divisible by 2. Now to check divisibility by 3, we should add. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 6 is 12. 12 is divisible by 3. So this number is divisible by 3. And by 2 at the same time, it means it's divisible by 6. Now 312, it has 2 at the end, so it's divisible by 2. Let's check if it's divisible by 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. 6 is divisible by 3, so this number is divisible by 3. Since it's divisible by 2 and 3 at the same time, it means it's divisible by 6. Now, this one has a 5 at the end, so it's not divisible by 2. Directly, it's not divisible by 6. As simple as this. Now, highlight all the numbers that are divisible by 9. So it's very similar to 3. We check the sum of digits if divisible by 9. So if I add the digits, if they are divisible by 9, it means the number is divisible by 9. Alright, 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 divisible by 9? Yes. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 2 is 3. Is 3 divisible by 9? No, because in the multiplication table of 9, we cannot find 3. So this number, no. Here, 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 8, 18. Is 18 in the multiplication table of 9, or is 18 divisible by 9? Yes, so this number is correct. Now, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 7, 11. 11 is not divisible by 9, so no. 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 9 is 16. So 16 is not divisible by 9. It means this number is not divisible by 9. Now, 306. 3 plus 0 is 3, plus 6, it's 9. 9 is divisible by 9, so yes, this number is divisible by 9. So these are the correct answers. Now, highlight all the numbers that are divisible by 10. So, divisible by 10, it means this is the easiest thing, which is divisibility by 10. It means the number must have a 0 at the end, only a 0. So if I give you these numbers, 190, 235, 376, 420, 580, 1001. I look for the numbers that have a 0 at the end. So this one, and this one. These are the numbers that are divisible by 10. Now, highlight all the prime numbers. As I said at the beginning, 1 is not prime. 3 is a prime number because it's divisible by itself and by 1. 7 is a prime number. 12 is not because it's divisible by other than itself and 1. So it's divisible by 2 or by 3, by 4, by 6. This is not prime because it's divisible by 2. 23 is not in the multiplication table of any of the digits we know. And it is a prime number. It's better to memorize them. 33 is a number that is divisible by 3 because 3 times 11 is 33, so it's not prime. Now,